Good evening, Americans, and welcome to the Ed Show from New York. The president made a move today that really should end the Republicans' war against women when it comes to health care. But we know better. It won't. This is the Ed Show. Let's get to work. We got all.
Religious liberty will be protected.
The president is keeping everyone happy on the contraception mandate.
And a law that requires free preventive care will not discriminate against women.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of Illinois and MSNBC's Melissa Harris Perry are here.
President Obama has tried to control your lives.
The Republican candidates get their chance to distort the truth at CPAC.
Barack Obama is the poster child for the arrogance of government.
Howard Feynman has the latest from CPAC. Scott Walker has reached another all-time low. He's using Wisconsin's mortgage settlement to plug his budget shortfall instead of helping homeowners. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett and State Senator Lena Taylor are outraged. They're here to respond. An 8th grade science whiz, Joey Houdini, is bringing his marshmallow cannon from the White House to the Ed Show.
It came out pretty fast. It looks safe.
Yeah. Good to have you with us tonight, folks. Thanks for watching. The Republicans are moving forward with their war on women's health care, despite the compromise offered today by President Obama. The president announced a revision to his administration's contraceptive policy. Women will still get free access to birth control regardless of their employer, and religious institutions will not have to provide coverage. This is what the Catholics want. Instead, the rule shifts the responsibility on insurers, not employers.
Religious organizations won't have to pay for these services, and no religious institution will have to provide these services directly. Whether you're a teacher or a small businesswoman or a nurse or a janitor, no woman's health should depend on who she is or where she works or how much money she makes. Every woman should be in control of the decisions that affect her own health.
After days of right-wing conservative backlash, the president recognized a workable solution needed to be drafted quickly.
After the many genuine concerns that have been raised over the last few weeks, as well as, frankly, the more cynical desire on the part of some to make this into a political football, it became clear that spending months hammering out a solution was not going to be an option.
And women's groups, they see this outcome as a victory.
I think he made very clear that this is a women's health issue. I liked the fact that he talked about that women use birth control for a lot of reasons. It's the most common prescription medicine that women use. This is huge news for women.
And Catholic groups are backing the president as well. The administration won the support of the Catholic Health Association and its president, Sister Carol Keehan, who says she is pleased with the decision. The United States Conference of Bishops called the plan a good first step toward addressing concerns of religious liberty. Bottom line, just about everybody is on board, very satisfied with the president's decision, except for the guys trying to take his job.
We're not talking about a $10,000 procedure here. We're talking about something that is an inexpensive medical, drug. And the idea that somehow the government even has to insure this period, the government has to force people to even cover this for the first place, makes a mockery out of the issue of insurance. This is a president trying to impose his values. He thinks he knows best what people should have and shouldn't have, and that should outrage everybody of faith and no faith.
That, of course, is the out-of-touch Rick Santorum, where 67% of the American women are in favor of what the president did today. 61% of Americans across the board are in favor of what the president did today. Mitt Romney did not fight a contraception mandate in Massachusetts when he was governor. Yet, here's what he had to say about the president's decision earlier.
Today, he did the classic Obama retreat. All right? And what I mean by that is it wasn't a retreat at all. It's another deception. When the president says deceptively, oh, now the Catholic Church won't have to buy policies that include these things. The insurance companies will just throw them in for free. It's just disingenuous and deceptive. And the American people have to see through it. There's been an attack launched on on religion in this country and on conscience in this country. And if I'm president, that will end.
The economy is slipping away as an issue for the Republicans after 23 months of private sector job growth. So I guess you could say they need a controversy, and they're pretty good at it. The problem is the majority of American people are siding with the president on this issue, as I stated numbers earlier. But Republicans are just moving forward with a plan that would put women's health care needs in jeopardy. Here we go. From the Republican side, Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri is introducing legislation that would allow any employer or health plan the power to deny a woman birth control coverage. And this breaking news just in, it is 2012. Are we talking about this? Yes, we are. This is one of these head fakes that the Republicans love to do. I find it hilarious that today the three Republican candidates are speaking at CPAC, and the president puts out a plan today that makes everybody happy. The Catholic Church, the bishops, everybody's on board, Planned Parenthood, the majority of the Americans, and now where does this leave the Republicans to rip on the president for doing the right thing for the American people? Well, it leaves them out in the wilderness just one more time. The fact is, the social issue is just a head fake. It's about health care for women. The president did the right thing. Get your cell phones out. I want to know what you think. Tonight's question: will the Republicans continue to pretend that President Obama is waging a war on religion? Text A for yes, text B for no to 622-639. And you can always go to our blog at ed.msnbc.com. We'll bring the results later on in the show. Joining me tonight is Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of Illinois. Congresswoman, great to have you with us. I think it's the perfect irony that they are talking about social issues at CPAC, and they're talking about religious freedom, and the president gave them all the freedom they wanted today. Are you satisfied with the president's decision?
Well, I think it's actually brilliant. We have the women's organizations, the healthcare organizations saying that now women can be guaranteed, regardless of where they work, that they will get access for free to the birth control that they need. You know, Rick Santorum scoffing at the amount of money that birth control costs really does show how out of touch he is. It's between $600 and $1,200 a year is what many of the modern birth control methods can cost. That's a lot of money. And actually, 50% of women from 18 to 34 years old have expressed concern about being able to afford that. But you know, remember that old game, The Farmer in the Dell, at the end, it's the cheese stands alone? Well, the cheese stands alone. The Republicans are by themselves. Yeah. And I felt like Romney was really saying to the Catholic Hospital Association, oh, you've been duped. You don't know what you're doing. How condescending is that?
Congresswoman, what's the next heavy lift? Here's Roy Blunt. He's introducing a measure that would give insurers the right to deny women contraceptive coverage. Now, I understand that abortions are as low as they've been in decades, and a lot of that has to do with contraception. Correct. I understand. But how much of a fight is this going to be? Can you see the insurance lobby going to work on this?
Well, first of all, you understand that the insurance companies prefer to insure contraceptive care because pregnancy is much more expensive. So it's really actually good for employers, and it's certainly good for insurance companies. But, you know, if I were texting you right now, I would say the Republicans are likely to continue to move ahead. That's how out of touch they are. I'm on the Energy and Commerce Committee. I fully expect to see this bill there, supported by the chairman, supported by the chairman of the subcommittee on health, and they'll just plow ahead despite the American people, especially American women, being on the other side.
Today's decision got a lukewarm response from the health insurance industry. They put out a statement saying that we are concerned about the precedent this proposed rule would set. A lot of people think that this is a good step towards universal health care, which, of course, I know you and I would be very much in favor of. I like the idea that poor women in this country are going to get an opportunity to move forward in life because, obviously, it's hard for them economically, especially when they get pregnant and have children at an early age. Everybody is in favor of this. But when you see that the insurance company is saying that this sets a pretty tough precedent, the precedent the proposed rule would set, doesn't that mean that they're ready to fight this?
Well, I don't know, but once again, if the Republicans and the insurance industry is on one side, and women and the Catholic Health Association and all the healthcare experts are on the other side, I think that's a pretty good team. I'd rather be on that team.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Let's turn to MSNBC host Melissa Harris Perry, whose new show starts Saturday, February 18th at 10 a.m. I'll be watching. Great to have you with us.
Thanks.
Did the president do the right thing?
Absolutely. And in fact, it was a really classic sort of presidential moment in that he listened to a very real issue, this issue about infringing on religious freedom. It's not irrelevant. It's not unimportant. It's part of sort of our understanding of who we are as an American people. He listened and he found a solution and he offered it.
I don't see any losers in this.
Yeah.
Everybody wins. The Catholic Church gets what they want. Yep. They don't get the mandate. It doesn't go against their doctrine. Even though most Catholic women go ahead and practice contraception anyway. So politically, why would the Republicans fight this?
Well, because right now, anything the president does has got to be bad. And as you pointed out earlier, the economy is slipping away. Look, this is in part an economic decision. Not only is it cheaper for insurance companies to provide coverage for contraception than pregnancies or pregnancy terminations, both of which are far more expensive, but because birth control pills also manage things like irregular menstrual cycles, excessive bleeding, all kinds of things that keep workers from going to work. Like, we keep talking about women like they're something other than the primary driving economic engine of this country.
Well, let me ask you about that. How offended are you by this whole conversation that's taken place this week? 58% of women use, the pill for other medical purposes.
It's a pretty disgusting conversation because all of it is talking about women and what women do. And it's just not recognizing that women are all of these things. Most women using contraception already have children. They're managing the size of their families in order to provide economically for the kids that they have. By the way, many, many men benefit from contraception and prefer for their wives and their girlfriends to be able to provide contraception for themselves.
Here's the president earlier on the politics of it all.
I understand some folks in Washington may want to treat this as another political wedge issue, but it shouldn't be. I certainly never saw it that way.
And as Greg Sargent points out, this could be a wedge issue in the Democrats' favor. Why are the Republicans fighting it? Who knows why they do this? But is this something that the Democrats are going to be able to put off to the side and really, because they've done the right thing and the majority of people are with them, that it won't be an issue down the road?
Yeah, I don't think this is not going to have staying power. And again, to the extent that it's a wedge issue, it's one that cuts across generationally and brings some of those young voters right back to President Obama. Because when you look at this decision, it has much more to do with age than with gender. Young men are also highly supportive of the availability of contraception broadly to women.
Melissa Harris Perry, are you excited for your show coming up?
I'm a little bit beside myself, yes.
It is kind of cool to have one, isn't it?
Kind of cool, yes.
And it all starts on February 18th.
February 18th.
All right, we'll look forward to it. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, Ed.